dynamic mobility drill. With this drill, you don't necessarily have to do it in the morning. You can also do it at pre-session. Basically, whenever you want that body to jumpstart and be ready for any form of activity or the day that's coming ahead of you. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to start off with some leg kicks. Hit yourself against a wall with the opposite hand, and then we're going to kick the opposite leg up and back. Here I'm looking for 15 kicks. 5, 6, 7. Try to, as you go through the reps, go a little bit higher and push the leg further back. Try not to bend this knee and keep it as straight as possible and push it as far back and as high up. Once we've done about 15 kicks, jump up to the other side, same thing, back and forth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful. Once we've done the front kicks, we now want to move on to the side. Same thing really. You can be facing the wall or just standing similar to how we did it. Just back and forth. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up to the other side. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. We're going to move on to our shoulders. We're just going to do some shoulder swings. Here we're trying to be a little bit explosive. Okay, we're just going to go reach as far back as possible and then extend the arms out and lift them up as high as possible. So we're just going to go up. Another 15 here. Pop back and forth, back and forth. Now I have lost count, so I'm assuming that this is 15. Once we've done 15, we're just going to go and open up the shoulders, reach over, hug yourself, one arm at a time. Beautiful. Once you've done about 15, or just even numbers, let go. Now we're going to start with our neck rolls. With the neck roll, I'm looking for chin to chest, and then just keep my chin across my chest line, come out to the side, roll, look back as far back as you can, bring it back to your chest line, and follow your chin across that chest line, and back. Nice and slow. Don't be super quick on this, just really feel your neck. Try to get that 360 rotation. Stick to one side initially. Here I tend to do anywhere between 5 to 8 reps, depending how tight my neck is feeling, whether how much rotation I've got. There we go. Beautiful. Now from here we're just going to reverse in direction. Once we've completed this drill, now we're going to move on to our shoulder drills. So what I'm looking for is to push my shoulders forward, reach up, lift them up, retract them back, and then relax them down. So we're going to create a circular motion, basically, but drawing it in a form of pushing my shoulders forward, lift, back, and down. So initially, I want you to be thinking of that motion of just, it feels like a square initially, but as you progress with this drill, it slowly becomes into noticing that you're just basically drawing a circle with your shoulders, and you're trying to go these circles as wide as you can, okay? Now once we've done about 5 to 8 rolls, okay, we're just going to reverse. Now we're gonna go back, up, forward, down, back, up, forward, down. And just follow this circular flow for another 5 to 8 reps. Beautiful. Once we've done that, guys, now we're just going to open up our palms out. Here what I'm looking for is we are going to internally rotate our shoulder, okay? Keep the palms flat, pointing forward, pointing up to the roof. And as you rotate one arm, I want you to look over the opposite shoulder and back. So just like this, we are trying to get the palm face the wall, the roof again. As we do, we are looking over our shoulder, the opposite side, just like that. Here I'm going to get anywhere between 6 to 8 reps. See how your shoulders are feeling, because shoulders can get fatigued a little bit from keeping them up. And we're going to rest them up now, okay? We're going to get down to our knees. Drop the hands down to the floor. We're just going to, from here, press our belly down closer to the ground, arch that back, and then tuck the tailbone down and press my hands into the floor, giving myself a bit of a hunchback, and back here. Just nice and easy, nothing too intense. We're just getting the spine into that active extension and flexion points, getting some movement into our pelvis, and just waking them up, just trying to activate the muscles, trying to get some blood flow, just like that. Once I've done about 10 here, what I want you to do is kick one leg out, just like this. I'm going to keep one knee down to the floor. I'm going to arch my back, just like that. And from here, rock myself forward and back. I know I did back and forward, but you get what I mean. Just make sure that the foot is pointing forward. And right before you start, you're making sure that your foot, hips, knees are all in one line. And then you're rocking back and forth. Don't think too much about sitting down. Think more about pushing your hips back and trying to maintain that arch in your spine for as long as possible. Once we've done about 10, from here, I want you to lift that leg out, just like this. And we're now going to repeat the same kind of movement, just rocking back and forth, maintaining a nice arch in our spine. See, the thing is, your anterior, as you're working your way back down, your hips are going to want to tuck in, get into a posterior pelvic tilt. So our aim is to make sure that we try to maintain that anterior pelvic tilt, which is your butt sticking up and you being in a little arch in your lumbar. We're trying to keep that as long as possible. But if it falls by the end range, that is okay. Just come up and reset at the top of every rep. Once we've done another 10 here, guys, okay, what I want you to do is roll the knee that is on the inside and it's bent. Roll it just all the way like this to the point where your heel is sticking out a little bit, and now we're going to drop our opposite hip on top. And we're going to just spend nice 30 seconds in this space. the 30 seconds is up, what I want you to do is stay back in this position that we are in. Now, what we're going to do is the leg that was bent is now going to reach forward, just like this. Push the back knee as far out as you can, okay? Place your hands on either side of your front leading leg, and from this position, whether your hands are flat or your fingers are on the floor, depending on how tight you are, this might be a different level of struggle for you. So if you are in this position, if you're tighter, you're probably going to have your fingers, or in some cases you might even want to have blocks under your hands for increased range, okay? So if your hands are coming out like this, with this drill, then I want you to basically lift it off, okay? So hands down to the floor, extend the back knee off the floor, just like that, and from here we're going to extend the leg and drop it back. 1, extend, 2, and back. My aim is, as I'm doing this exercise, I am trying to keep the back leg as straight as possible, dropping my hips down in this position, and then as I lift it back, I'm trying to extend my front knee as best as possible, trying to think that the back of my knee is shooting towards the ground, okay? If you're struggling to bend it completely, extend it completely, then use the blocks to help you extend. If this is too sharp, you can also bring the back leg and you can just work just this motion. Just extend, back and forth, okay? Now, we're just going to, for the sake of this, just do 10 reps here. After finishing the 10 reps, I'm going to come extend on the 10th rep and just press my chest down for 10 seconds, holding that space and relaxing down. And now, once we drop that foot, I want you to take 2 steps out and bring your hand on the inside. Now what I want us to do is we're going to extend the back knee off the floor and drop it back. It will be helpful for you to look up here, or even to create 2 fists to help you lift up your shoulder and create a nice extension in your spine. And from that point, we're just working that knee to come up and back. Really think about your heel pushing that knee back. So really think about your heel pushing back, and that is going to help you straighten out that knee and extend your hip. Try to keep your hip as level as possible and not come down with it. Notice my front leg is stable, my hip is trying to stay level and not come down at any point. We're just trying to work that extension through the knee, dropping to the floor and back. We're going to do 10 reps here and then have a 10-second hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Drop it down, push the leg back, keep the hands on the floor, lift your toes up and back. Bring your toes as close as possible to you, drop them back, back and forth. As high as you can, as far forward as you can push it. We're going to do another 10 reps here. Just be counting. And once the 10 reps are completed, we're going to come up, and now we're going to switch up to the other side. So, whichever leg you did, you sometimes might forget because the mobility drill is relatively long. So, as you go through, you will feel if one side feels a little bit tighter, or the side that feels a little bit warmer and you're getting used to it, that's probably the side that you were doing before. So keep that in mind. Alright, now we're going to extend the other leg out, same thing, arch that back, and let's work another 10 reps here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, of the toes, push the heel out. Make sure your knee, your hip, and your heel are all in one line. Arch that back and rock back and forth. Important to keep the straight leg straight and not bend that knee, okay? Just in order to make the stretch on your hamstring a little bit more isolated. That's it. So once we've done 10 reps, remember, now that bent leg is going to roll in, just like this, and we're going to drop our opposite hip onto our hip, and then we're going to hold this position for a nice 30 seconds. The idea is that you want to drop your weight into your leg, and then as a result, it's going to give you a nice stretch on your glutes and your piriformis here. We're just trying to relax, be nice and light on your hands. Obviously, if you're super tight, you will generally apply more weight into your hands because you want to take that pressure off your leg and make it a little bit easier for you. So just listen to your body and see how you're going. Really try to, as the 30 seconds are building up, try to make yourself a little bit heavier because your muscle is going to work to relax. Now, from here, we're going to come out. Similar to what we did. One leg forward, one leg back. Push it back as far as possible. Again, hands down. Once the knee is gone as far back as possible, I'm going to lift off the back knee, okay? And extend the front leg. Drop the hip down and extend the front leg. Down and up. Down and up. Really trying to keep my chest nice and close to my knee, especially when I am extending my knee. When I am dropping my hips, here you can look up, and that extension in the spine promotes a bigger stretch in your hip flexors, because when we're here, we're stretching our hip flexors. When we are here, we're stretching our hamstring or the front leg. This is the great thing about this stretch, is because it's covering both bases at the same time. Once we've done 10 of these guys, I want you to come out, hold it for 10 seconds. 10 seconds of you pushing that knee closer to the ground, that is the front knee, pressing it down and pressing your chest into your knee. Hold it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop the back knee. Now we're going to take 2 steps out with the front leg, place our hand on the other side, because it was on the outside, now it's on the inside. Same thing, what we want to do is now we're going to work on the back leg, so we're working on our hip extensions. Press your foot into the floor and push that heel towards the ground in order to lift that knee off the ground. 2, 3, down, 4, down, 5, down, 6, down, 7, down, 8, down, 9, down, and hold it, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. Now extend the front leg. Here, if your hands are coming off a little bit, just that is expected, okay? But really make sure that you do keep your hands relatively pushed forward. You don't want the hands to be here, okay? That just takes away from the nerve pulsing or the intensity, but depends on how tight you are, just try to make sure that you are challenging on the edge of where your maximum capacity is. Okay, we don't want to make it super easy. We want to be just in that challenging point where you're like, ooh, when you get to that point, you're like, ooh, that's a little bit, but it feels good after I release. That's the sweet spot. Once we've done about 10 guys, come out of it. Now what we're going to finish off with, basically, we're going to sit up in a straddle, just like this. Okay, here with the straddle, whether you sit narrow, you sit wide, it doesn't really matter. All we're gonna do is, I want you to reach both hands onto one side of your leg, and here we're going to go 20 reps, reaching as far forward as we can. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to come on and switch on to the other side. Same thing, 20 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Give yourself a mark and try to beat that mark and push the mark further out. As you go progressing through the reps, you'll notice that you're going to reach out a little bit more and more because your hips are just opening up slowly. Okay, I lost count here, but I'm assuming it's about 20 reps. Once the 20 reps are done, now we're going to come into a diagonal position and we're going to push another 20 in this diagonal point. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Once we've done 20, switch it out, the opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now to the center. Okay, we're gonna do another 20 here. You can make the reps up to 50 reps if you want, because you know, whatever just helps you open up the hips, and whatever, if you have the time, give it a little bit more time. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Finish off with a hold. 10 seconds here, pressing your weight forward, pushing it closer and closer. You're relatively active through your hips, you should be feeling it. Okay, to the maximum point you can reach, 10 seconds, and come out. Okay, now to finish off, we're just going to stand up into a straddle. Not too wide, just at a relative width. Okay, place your opposite hand onto the opposite leg. Get your hand on top of that. And we're just going to rotate our T-spine and bring our shoulder as far back as possible and back. Here we want to do another 10 reps. And with each rep, try to increase the range from the previous rep. Once you've done about 10, switch out to the other side. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boom. And that is it. This is a good, as I said earlier, this is a good way to get your body waking up, shaking up, and getting it ready to whatever activity you're going to perform for the day. Enjoy.